Greetings, hello, and welcome everyone. Welcome to DevChatter. As you probably know, my name is Brendan. It says it right below me, and I am the host of the DevChatter live stream. And with me today is a person up in the corner, and also we get to dance a little bit because S&B just subscribed to the channel for some 18 months. Wow! Thank you very much for being here for 18 months, S&B. Yes, dev plus chatter. So we're going to do some talking, some shenanigans, and some coding, as that's what we usually do here. I mentioned we have a guest up in the corner, so allow me to introduce everyone, or reintroduce for anyone who has been here for a Guy Royse guest stream before, to Guy Royse. Go ahead and
Hi.
tell them some about yourself, Guy.
Yeah, like Brendan said, my name's Guy, and I like pina coladas and taking walks in the rain.
All that is true.
Actually, both of those are rather quite pleasant, but I'm I'm a software developer. I've been writing software for decades. I do get called a Hagrid a lot there. I saw that. Thank you. And right now I'm with Redis Labs. I'm a developer advocate there. So doing stuff like this is part of my job. But I'm not going to sell Redis today. I'm just going to work on cool stuff with Brendan. But yeah, so we're going to do. Do you want to talk about what we're going to do, Brendan, or you want me to talk about
it? Why don't you tell them what we're going to do?
So we hatched a plan a whopping hour and a half ago, because we're prepared professionals, to live code up some data structures. So like hash tables and linked lists and all that computer science stuff, and use them as a basis to then build probabilistic data structures if we have time. And so probabilistic data structures are like they're more mundane deterministic data structures like hash tables. Probabilistic data structures have uncertainty into them, and so for example, they might not always tell you the truth. They might give false positives. You can think of them kind of like JPEGs, where it's a lossy compression, but that error is acceptable.
Yeah, they're going to try to be right like 90-some% of the time.
Yeah, but they're smaller and faster, and so sometimes that's a good trade-off.
Yep.
So that's the idea of them. And so we're going to hopefully get to coding those, but we'll see.
Yep. Okay. That was a pretty good explanation of that. And if anyone is actually new here, feel free to ask questions, anything like that along the way. We'll be watching chat. We do like to be interactive about that. Also, the other members of our chat here on DevChatter are very friendly and will answer your questions. So if you have a legitimate question about, like, you're wondering how something works or something like that, people are going to be really welcoming and good about that. So feel free to, chime in with stuff. Yes, so a lot of people think that Guy looks like some kind of a magic user or wizard, something like that. He, back in like 2018 December, I think we had you on a stream and everybody said you were Santa then.
It might have been around Christmas.
Yeah, it was around Christmas.
Was that the mad crazy? We had 30 people on the Visual Studio live share thing, and it barely worked event.
No, on that. On that one where we just had repeating guests, no one ever saw your face. But in the previous ones, we had you on earlier in December, I thought, and then you got called Santa for that one. Okay,
yeah, so I get that a lot too.
Yeah, so normally on our stream, for anyone that's a regular here, we do a lot of C# and JavaScript and that sort of thing. Today we're going to do these in JavaScript. We can obviously do these in C# also, and it doesn't really make a difference, because part of the reason why we're building the inefficient ones is we're not trying to build like the super optimized, this is the correct way. And also, if you were building these, for a lot of this kind of stuff, languages like Java and C# are not exactly the, I'm going to make this super optimized version of a thing. So...
Well, I mean, like in C#, we have a hash table already. It's called a dictionary.
Yes, exactly.
So there's no reason to create it.
Yes.
I was looking through chat and someone said like Bloom filters. Yes, like Bloom filters.
Yep. Bloom filter would be an example of one of those probabilistic data structures. All right, so how will you determine...
It'll be the first one we do.
So fuel stable, we're not planning on actually measuring the efficiency. That's one of the reasons why we know they're going to be inefficient.
Yeah.
Because if you didn't measure it, it's probably inefficient.
That's right. Well, and we're going to be writing tests for these, and part of me wants to be strictly test driven, but because some of the requirements of things like hash tables are more non-functional, it's hard to write tests to validate that it did indeed do some internal thing that is transparent to the user.
And if you start trying to test all those little fiddly pieces, then it's just a pain anytime you change how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're probably not going to go quite that deep. So we're not going to be that much of a purist.
We are set up with live share, so you'll see both my cursor and Guy's cursor on this screen at the same time. Clicking around on stuff. So where do we want to start? You mentioned that you had something that you wanted to do right as soon as we were live and ready to go.
Yeah. So we got a package JSON here, which I think you all can see, and a git ignore, and that's all we've got in here. And we've already done an npm install. You'll notice that I put in murmur hash as a dependency. A lot of these data structures, hash tables, you need a hashing function, and so I'm not going to write a hashing function. Let's just take one off the internet. And then here's our chai and mocha, what we're going to use to write our tests. And so the thing I wanted to do first was start out with just getting our test stuff running and write just like a simple test, say, hey, is this all working? But I also wanted to create sort of the project structure. And if you've ever done seen any Ruby packages, there's a sort of pattern where you'll have a package name.rb in the root, and then a folder that matches that name, and then it has all the actual code, and then the package name.rb will then reference those things. So I wanted to do something similar with JavaScript here, and I've cheated and done this in advance, and I'm just going to go look at it. And so now, if you see me look up, I'm looking up at a monitor above me that's mounted on my wall, and it's where I have code to cheat with. So
yeah, we talked about the fact that Guy was going to be cheating through this whole thing.
Yeah, and if I look to the left, I've got my iPad set up with chat, and that means I'm looking at chat. So if you see me looking in strange off-camera directions, that's what I'm doing.
I've cheated with that kind of stuff on stream before. For example, I did an episode where we showed everyone how to build a plugin for a popular chatbot. But I'd done that on the previous episode of the show. I did one, and so I just kept the other one up on the side. So if I was like, all right, look up syntax and things like, how did I do this? Okay, it's like I just got it on the side because I'm like, yeah, let's not fiddle around with figuring out the syntax again when I'm trying to do the tutorial version.
Yeah, so I'm going to create a linked list spec. So we're going to start with a linked list because a hash table has a linked list in it. So we need a linked list before we can build a hash table. So here's our linked list spec. It is quite empty. Rather than remember all these things, I'm just going to copy and paste a blob of code in here, and then I'll talk about it.
Real programmers copy and paste.
I don't always reuse code, but when I do, I copy and paste. Here's our expectation library. Here is something that doesn't exist yet. And then here's a test. So linked list one created. Create the subject, and then say, yeah, it's empty, true. And so that's just a real simple test. If I save that and do npm test down here on the command line, I don't know if we can see that on or not.
Yep, that's on the screen.
Then it complains to give us an error saying, what's the error say?
I assume something about that piece not existing, but...
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Cannot find the module, data structures.
Yeah, that's right. So let's fix this problem. We'll add a folder to the workspace.
That I don't think we'll see you doing.
Yeah, there we go.
Appears.
New folder under here. We'll call it data structures.
We should see a folder appear on the left there. There we go.
And then I'll add... go ahead.
I was going to say, if anyone hasn't seen live share, that's the thing that's amazing, is you're just making folders, you're making edits, you get the cursor, just syncs up. When it works, it's great.
So here's a data structures.js. So this data structures.js is just going to export a bunch of classes that are going to be created inside a data structure.
Is this supposed to be in the folder?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. That's that one. And then what goes in the folder then?
In the folder, we'll have a new file, linked list, and then we have hash table.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're going to put those in
there.
That. Okay, that works.
And then, so in the data structures.js, we will put, as I cheat, module exports and this object, which just is exporting linked list, and it's going to require in the data structures /data structures /linked list.
And then that one's just going to export itself as linked list.
Right. And so linked list is going to be
Which I should still be following you. There we go.
that. And get that extra
Yep.
line at the bottom because that's how you're supposed to do it, according to Guy.
The funny thing is, when I'm in Visual Studio, I actually just let it automatically do that for me, and it adds that extra line every time.
It usually does for me, but every now and then it doesn't, and I'm just using VS Code, and there's probably a setting I could use, and I could be better, but I'm not. But so now we have, so what we have here is if we look at our linked list spec, we're requiring /data structures. That's data structures.js here. And then it is exporting an object with linked list in it. And then we'd add like, balloon filter. Whoops. Not like that. Or whatever, right?
Yep.
So, and then in linked list, we just export the class that we have in there. Okay. Make sense?
Yep. No. Totally on board. All right,
cool.
Let's go try our test again.
Okay.
We should now that exists. Yeah.
Subject is empty is not a function. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually a good test or not.
No, that's actually totally valid. Newly created list being empty is perfectly valid to me.
Yeah.
That's a great starting point because then that verifies that when you put an item in that you can tell that it's not empty.
Yeah. So I think I've got a test here. Do you want to make it pass?
Sure.
And then let me see if I can go to
Man,
follow
where's my button to just be like just make it? Where's my do all the work for me button? What is this language where I have to write stuff myself? Now I have to remember what the syntax is for this.
I think this is called programming.
What? So we're gonna make is empty, and it's gonna be I forget. Do I just function these ones? I don't remember class syntax right now. Guy, you have to remind me of class syntax.
Oh, you're good. You got it.
It's just like this? Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll be nice and just do this. Because that way we don't have to run it twice.
Okay, so I'm seeing one problem that we didn't coordinate we should have done before stream.
What's that?
Which is you've got four spaces and I've got 2 spaces.
VS Code, forgot. Yeah.
And I think I'm correct and you're wrong, so that's my opinion.
No, that's not possible.
So
no, Guy, you don't understand. I am actually incapable of being wrong. Also, check this out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wizard.
Oh, yeah. Wizard. Who's the wizard now, right?
Thank you, Smartasky. That's right. It's 4 spaces. Gamzoli, my recommendation for learning C# and resources, there are a whole bunch of interesting courses that you can find on GitHub. There's a lot of, on Pluralsight, there's a lot of just free stuff you can read on GitHub. Look through some projects. Feel free to take a look at some of ours as well. Watch streams. Generally, I would just recommend pick a small project and start coding. Okay, so
tabs. No, we're not doing tabs.
Well, yeah, we're not doing tabs.
What we can do is Brendan can do tabs and I can do spaces. That'd be great.
Smartasky, I have had people suggest 3 spaces before, and I don't think they were trolling. I think they just are crazy. All right,
I think there's 0 spaces. We should start doing with 0 spaces.
0 spaces? Yeah, that sounds great. Let's do that. Or
we're
not.
Python with 0 spaces. Okay, so I guess we need to. I do want to do a size as well. I mean, that would be easy to do as well.
Sure.
Or do we want to do that later? Has size of 0.
0. Expect size to be, and can this be a?
I think you have to do 2 equal, 2.equal, and then in parentheses. And I do have the chai sheet up here? The cheat sheet. I have examples at least.
Oh, that's fine. We can take guesses.
Yeah.
Size is not a function. All right, Tag, your turn, Guy.
Tag.
Size,
Okay. Size is not a function.
Size is not a function.
That is very true. It's not.
I think it's about to be. Oh, I need to pin to you. There you go.
Oh, there we go. I unsurprisingly have created a function called size, and I can say return 0.
It is yes, fuel snibble could be it could be order n, but there are ways to keep track of it otherwise. It's you can make it so that like if you are slicing out of if you're gonna pull a section out of the middle, you might have to count the elements removed. But when adding them in, as long as you add in with a linked list that also maintained its size, if you like, add a set into the middle somewhere, then again, you can just use the two size values and add them together, for example. So there are some ways to avoid, having to walk the entire list just to find the size, but
I'm personally okay with it being O of n because linked lists generally, if you have a linked list and you do size,
yep.
I mean, you kind of expect to have to walk it to figure it out. You're right, there are ways to make some more sophisticated ones to solve that problem.
Yes, Fuel Snable, this is 1980.
So okay, well, I actually didn't run the test, but
no,
I'm pretty sure it'll pass.
What? Okay, it does.
Crazy. So we should probably do like something more interesting.
Why don't we try adding an item to the list?
That's a great idea. I'll go ahead and say context when an item is added to the list. You'll note I'm doing function instead of using arrow functions here. With Mocha, you have to do you can't use the arrow functions because it's repurposing the value of this, and so don't do that. Yeah, Jasmine will let you get away with it. And then before each function subject dot keeps bringing up all this help on my screen and it's blocking when I'm typing. Subject dot add. Let's do append to be more meaningful. We can
append because it's gonna that is very clear that it's gonna add it to the end of the list.
Right. Append, and we'll just make it it's JavaScript, so we can do anything we want. An item. Do we have a theme we want to use here? Just for our variables, a fun theme.
Oh, why don't we do since we started with like talking about wizards and magic users and stuff, we could do classes.
Okay.
Why not?
Barbarian.
There we go.
So we got to append barbarian. Yeah. Okay. So
that's all set. So it's going to be a list of string values we're defaulting to because I'm not going to deal with like actually. I'm not going to deal with the consequences of the collection being like having multiple types because that's painful.
It's JavaScript, so it won't matter.
Yeah, I know, but if we do anything with them, it will.
Oh,
if we do anything with the values, it will. I'm just saying for us, let's do this.
Yeah. Let's not worry about references and shallow and deep copies or anything like that. That's where you're going, right?
Is this the... Yeah, it's that one.
So I guess it would be it is not empty. That's, I guess, a good place to start.
Yep, there you go.
And then I'm going to be lazy.
Yep, feel free to steal the code from up there. That's good. And we'll make that false. And that test should fail now.
Yeah, let's run it.
For two reasons. The first reason being that append is not there. So I will add append, have it do nothing, and then we'll run it again and confirm that it fails for the correct reason a second time.
Okay.
So duplicate that. We're going to make append. And what are we going to call this? Item?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. There we go. That's perfect. I love that clearly does not do anything. Okay, expected it to be false. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, what I want to do is I want to make a field in the class, set the value to a Boolean, and turn that to false when you append an item. And it's not false. This is clearly the correct way of solving this problem. All right,
Yeah.
Guy. So I remember. How do I put a thing in here? Do I just make an object in here with a name?
Um,
So it would be like, what's the name of my thing? Items.
yeah.
Do I do
Yeah,
this?
no. You actually just have to reference it. So you need a constructor.
Oh yeah, that's what I
And
do.
the constructor is just the word constructor.
Yeah, that's what it is. Been a while.
Yeah.
And
That
like
and then
this,
curly.
right? Oh, whoa,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, I'm C sharp.
Yeah.
C sharped it.
Do we want spaces after the curly
yes.
brace? Or yeah, okay.
Yep, we agree on that.
I just want to be consistent.
This dot first item equals nothing.
Well, we could start out there, but we're probably going to end up creating an item class of some sort or structure that has the value and the pointer to the next thing.
We basically need our nodes.
Yeah, node. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. I guess we could say first node.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I guess if they're going to be nodes, we could just call it first.
And so first node is probably going to be null initially.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, set it to null to begin with. And then after this, so when we add an item, we technically should create a node, but for now, to make it pass, I am just going to set this to this value, and then when we add a second item, we'll deal with nodes.
Okay.
Because now I can say for is empty, I can do return this dot first node. It is empty if it equals null.
Yeah, and make that triple equals.
Oh, yep. Sorry. Yep.
Do we want to do semicolons at the end of our lines or not? I've gotten into the habit of not semicolon in JavaScript.
At all.
At all, yeah. That's been a trend lately, and I follow all the cool fashions in software.
Because the reason for making sure that you added them in is not as important, and even the curlies on their on the same line is not as important as it was.
Yeah, I mean, there's really only one scenario that would ever bite you in anyhow, and that was if you returned an object literal, and then you put the curly brace on the next line. Return would just return. So. Does chat know what the hell I'm talking about?
And yeah, Fuel Snable, we could totally go that route, but I think we'll just head down this one for now, and we can look at that one. But I do like that suggestion of doing a separate empty version of it. Okay, so that passes. So I need to give Guy a test that fails. So let's head over here. It is not empty, and that's the context. Yep. Okay.
We should probably update the size.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay. Yeah. Am I following you or are you following me? I tried
right
to follow
now, you should be following me because I am the one that is active.
I'm gonna do this. You won't see this, but I'm gonna split right, and then I'll just have both of them up at the same time. Actually, that's a terrible idea. Split down.
Yeah, the problem is the terminal. Like needing space for the terminal and the code.
Yeah. All of a sudden, it's not working. So, well, I mean, it's working. It's just...
Okay, so we're gonna say that when an item is added to the list, we're gonna add barbarian. That it should have size equal to 1.
Okay.
This test will fail.
Yes, it did.
All right, tag, you're it. I'm gonna pin to you.
0 to be 1. Okay. So I'm trying to think there's the cheater way to do this. We don't really have nodes yet, so we can't walk the list. So I think this is as simple as this dot first node question mark 1 else is 0.
Good job. Way to push that work back to me.
Did I do it wrong?
Wait, what? We could do this.
Yeah, I just expected
it should have been truthy.
Yeah.
Might have gotten confused by the syntax.
Yeah, it could be. So, Or maybe I didn't save it. I don't know.
Either way, this definitely works.
Yeah,
and we're going to throw that piece out anyway.
Yes. Yeah, because as soon as we go to add another item, well, next we should probably retrieve the item.
Yes. Because we need to know whether the item has another item after it to know if they're like...
Yeah, we don't have the need to have multiple nodes yet, and we don't really have the need for a node yet, because it's either has a thing or it doesn't. So
correct. Yes,
this is when we add the second awful linked list.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. we said in the hey everyone gets a description of what we're doing, and there was a description on the video too. Don't you dare yell at us for these being inefficient. We warned you. We were planning on having fun today.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'm fixing. All right. When 2 items are...
I was going to do up here on when an item is added to the list, we can get it.
Oh, you want to grab the item? Oh, okay, yeah. We can do that before we go on further. Yeah. I was thinking let's get us to a node, but sure. Actually, can I do this? Oh, yes, I can! Oh, that was great. You love it when you guess that a shortcut will do what you think it's going to do in your IDE. It can be retrieved.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to say, do we want to have a first, or do we want a first method, or do we just want to do index access?
Let's just do index access. I think we'll just create a get method.
Okay, get, okay, so in most languages, they index based on 0, and in like VB, they did 1, right? So let's do 2. We'll start our index.
Well, actually, let's do it backwards. And so 0, let's make 0 the middle of the list.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And then you could do negatives to go the...
Yeah.
This is brilliant. I like this idea. Chat's like, we're going to murder you.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess, so a get, again, is going to be slow because you got to walk to the particular location.
Do we want to do this? Well, that's why I was saying first to grab the first. Like if there's a shortcut to first.
Because really, the way you go through linked lists is you use an iterator.
Yeah. So like it's almost you do like first and next. So I was thinking first and then dot value. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's good.
You can use 0.5 as a starting index. Yes, Phil Snable, exactly. What's whole number indexes? Come on. All right.
This is how politicians set coding standards.
Can I pull this out as like a variable up here inside a context somehow? Or are we okay with these just repeating?
You had to ask me a question the second I put a graham cracker in my mouth.
Yeah, that was the plan. I wanted to do that.
Excellent. So, yeah, everyone gets to listen to me crunch up graham crackers as well. Yeah, so the question is do we want to do subject.first, assign it to a variable, and do, like, walk over it? I don't think for this test. I think when we have multiple items, we're going to do .first, .next.
Tag.
So, okay. This will be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So the node's going to have... What's the node going to look like? I think our test should look like that. I think we should have it as a property.
Oh, yeah, no, that's totally fine. Yeah. Yep, if you want to do that, I'm good with that. That's why I asked if you wanted it this way.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So, linked list. Let's do first. And then... I think this just needs to return this first node.
Exactly, yep.
Except first node doesn't do what we want.
It's not what we want yet because, well, when you return this, we should get the new failure, which is the value's not a function on first.
Right. And so now first node
we need to make it a node. It's not null.
Well,
it's a string.
No, it's not. Yeah. We should actually define what happens when we call first on and first node is null. Well, it would return null, but we need a test for that.
Yeah, we can go do a test for that.
These aren't problems. Yeah.
Yes.
So
just future stuff. Welcome to programming, everyone.
yeah, there we go. That should do the trick.
True, that will.
Value is not a function.
You didn't save the spec.
Oh, didn't I?
Nope. It was not saved. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing those on my side, so.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have, since you didn't get the visual reminder, you didn't realize that it wasn't. I saw it and I was like, oh, that's not saved. I'll go get it. All right, so that runs now. So give me a test that fails.
Okay.
Why don't we go do the null one?
That's just gonna pass.
No, it's not. Is it? First is first gonna come back as I guess yeah, if we had it as null, but value. But when we checked out value, it'd fail. I guess you shouldn't call that value if it was null. So that'd be bad user. So yeah, you're right. You're right. So what do we want to do? We want to go to the add a second item then?
Well, let's go ahead and put this test in here. I think we can say to be null. I think that works, Mocha. And that should just pass.
Yep, it does. Okay. Good.
Well, I didn't run that test. It said 5 passing. We need to be 6.
Why? Yeah, that's weird. It's not saving for you. All right.
Yeah, I'm hitting Command S.
Yeah, no, I believe you. Try hitting Control S. No, I'm just kidding.
Actually,
that better not. Hang on.
Let's find out.
Yeah, just make any change, space change or something, and try it. No, it's not saving. Okay.
Well, it saved that time. I saw the little circle go away.
It didn't go away on my end, so it must not be sending it across. So I will make sure that I'm saving a lot.
So let me get you a failing test.
Yep, sounds good.
Can be retrieved. We'll do this. I'm wordsmithing here, but first returns null when retrieved.
Oh yeah.
First returns null
when an item is less. Yeah.
First has a value. And then next is null.
That's a good check. Yep. To be .null.
Returns null. No, not that. And I'm going to make this a function because it's going to return the next object.
Yep, I agree. Yeah.
And this is to be null.
Yeah, because this is going to be returning another node, and
right.
And so,
let's see if the tests pass. It probably. Okay, cool. There's something to make pass.
And next is not a function. Hey, wait, you saved it that time.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, well.
We'll see.
So sometimes you can save, and sometimes you cannot.
We'll figure out the pattern by the end of the stream.
Oh, yeah. All right, so do I actually have to go do you think I should actually make a node class?
I think for now we can just...
you just think just put it on here again?
Yeah. And that may be all we ever need to do.
So that'll be next. As a function.
Oh, that's right. It is a function, isn't it?
Yeah, you made it a function.
Well,
I'm going to do this.
The easiest thing to work and then force me to refactor it.
Yeah, well, I think in this case, function versus field was just as easy, but... Yeah, I'm actually thinking I want to force you to go with a field because it's just easier.
Need that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And then...
And then it needs to return something.
Or I can just force you to make it a field, and then...
Actually, you need the keyword function in there, too.
Yeah. At which point I don't even need the word next.
Oh, yeah.
Return null, and we're doing no semicolons.
Yeah.
Alright, and we're passing. So now I need to give you a failing test. Is there anything else we need to do before we add the second item?
Well, I'm thinking this might be worth a refactor of creating a node class.
You actually think we need it yet?
I'm not sure.
I don't think that merits it yet. I think when we try to add the second one, that's going to be what causes us to need it.
Yeah. Well, and actually, if we didn't make this a function, if we just made this a property, we probably wouldn't even need to do that.
Yeah, if we just go with this.
Yeah. I think that's a good refactor, actually.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think my test was a bad plan. And in fact, first arguably could even be a property as well.
I don't know. On that one, that one, like, I don't think we're going to lose anything by leaving that one as a function.
Yeah.
Let's leave it that. I don't think we're going to gain anything from changing that, but this still seems to work. So let's move on, and I will get you a failing test then.
Okay.
All right, so how can we make this fail? I'm thinking we really do need to go to the second item now.
Yeah, I do too. I think we need to. I think we should just jump all the way to 3.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on board.
If we write 2, then the test we write for 3 is not going to reveal any new code.
No, I was thinking that then you get into like potentially having a last pointer. Which could be, I guess. Like, it's not that different from 2 at that point. But yeah, we can do 3.
Yeah.
We'll just jump straight to 3, because 3 and 2 are not all that different. When 3 items are...
I tend to like to always test with 3 things, not 2 things, because 2 things you can hit edge cases sometimes.
If you're going to do both, then it's fine. Alright, so Barbarian, Bard, and what else starts with a B? That's...
Barrack. I don't know. Biter. Chat, getting ideas?
Yeah, chat. We need an idea for a class name that starts with B.
Brendonies.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Biker.
Biker. Bread. Oh yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah, it's good thing we brought chat. Beard. Bread. Baker. Oh, that's actually a good one. Hang on. Yeah, Baker. There we go. Okay.
Can you do object expression in JavaScript? So, I'm not sure what you mean by the question.
It will not be empty. We're going to say, and I'm going to just adjust. I'm just going to toss these in here with size 3 on these. That's going to be the same. And this one is different. Should I comment this one out for now? We'll do the size 3, or... Yeah,
let's do the not empty and the size thing. Those I feel okay doing those tests together.
I'm thinking one failing test, and that, yeah, exactly. I'm thinking, well, yeah, that's a good point. Why don't I comment this out? We'll confirm that those tests pass. So we're expecting all passing tests right now, and then I'll make one fail, and then the next fail.
Okay.
Ooh, see? Because something failed. Expected Baker to equal Barbarian because we were changing the value of first. Okay, so that doesn't pass either. So, I guess that's a thing to fix. So there is one failing test.
Yeah, that's...
Because we overwrote the values.
Yes, we totally did.
In one.
Totally did.
All right, I will pin to you.
Okay, so we got first has a value. We want it to be Barbarian. It's not Barbarian.
So when we append, do you want to do it the real way, or do you want to do it still another cheater way?
I think I kind of want to do it the real way.
Okay.
But then I'll want to write 2 more tests to back it up.
Yeah, so we're basically saying that if node is not empty, then like... Because we're going to hit the third case almost immediately when we try to check the size 3, because we're only going to have 2 items. Because if you do this with an if instead of a while, which shows a wonderful thing that I love pointing out to people, which is that as you refactor and build these with TDD, you almost always build an if that converts into a while once you handle the 3 case instead of the 2, which probably is why you want to start with the 3 case. Because the 2 is when you do an if, the 3 is when you switch your if into a while.
Yeah, it probably is why I want to do that.
Yeah.
So here we got if first node is null, then create our first node.
Yep.
That's probably enough to make the test pass.
Yeah, that'll make that test pass. And it looks like you got it saved.
I haven't figured out the pattern there yet.
Yeah, we're eventually gonna have to figure out why you can sometimes make it safe. Did this run? Okay, yeah, it did.
Yes, it did. Let's do.
Wait, why'd you duplicate that? Oh, because you want to do second. Yeah. That's like first next.
Yeah, I'm giving my test names that are ordered.
Yeah,
technically you could.
I guess you can because it's going to write them in order.
Like we're not actually running them in order. We're just writing them in order. Next hazard value, and then so subject.first.next.value to equal bard, and then I'm going to go ahead and do 3 here as well.
Okay, so you're going to force into the while loop immediately.
I don't think we have a while loop for where we're at.
You think this is still... Well, I guess it could be 2 ifs, but this feels like this has got to be while loop territory.
Okay, I'll stop then.
Wait, yeah, I thought you were doing the 3.
Well, this will take us through that pattern of...
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Okay. We'll see where this goes.
All right, so...
Because you're right, if I write the next test after that, I'm cheating for one.
Yeah, all right.
And for another, I'm gonna... Because making this one pass will be easy, and then making the one after that pass will be harder. So yeah, it's the if and then the while.
Yep. Am I cheating enough? Did everyone like that cheat? I thought it was good. Oh yeah, we could do it that way. And then I was gonna do that to get the spacing right, because its spacing's all messed up. Because you're right, I don't do the same spacing as you.
Yeah. Well, I tend to use spacing of 3 in like C# and JavaScript in Java, but in JavaScript I do a little tighter. I'll neaten it up for you. There you go.
Thank you. What is expected Baker to equal Bard?
It's just the same problem.
Because I wrote it over it again. Yeah. See, this is why it needs to be a while.
This is why we needed a test for 2. We'll just keep doing this forever until we get tired of writing tests.
No, the point when you get like the first if is fine. The second if is like, no, we're at the point where we need to refactor to the while, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But look, it passes. All right.
Yeah.
So do we want to refactor to it here, or do we want to do that on the next one, or do we want to put in the third, because the third really forces the while?
I think I kind of want to put in the third.
Okay.
Because it's just a question of whether we want to do this on the refactor or on the while, or on the test, and the net result's the same.
Yeah. All right. So we'll add a third one. So what is this? Next.
It has the value after that. I don't know.
Next has a value of Baker. And then this is going to be next.
Yeah. And then when we run that, it should complain at us.
Yep. It says, cannot read property value of null, which means that the second next was null instead of being an item.
Yeah.
Yep. So now we need to go back to this, and you can else if and next if you like, but I'd recommend we switch this.
Yeah. I'm noodling through. I won't do that. I mean, if I did that, that'd be me.
Actually, being a jerk. I was gonna say alternately we can just do that first, and then work on refactoring together after that. So why don't we just do this?
Okay.
Like just copy that down, and then if you adjust it. Oh, I grabbed an extra. Whoops. I do not want to start a discussion there.
Okay. There we go. Else if this first node next
it, and then we'll change this.
Null.
Yeah.
Then
That way we're refactoring on working code.
Like that.
Yeah. And now the pattern is obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's usually why I do like 3 as the when you switch to a while, because it's like, no, the pattern is very, very clear right here on what it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so this would be refactoring. What's this? Okay, so we'll do while. We need a current node.
Yep, we'll track some kind of a current node.
So it'd be like
I'm gonna hide this for a second. There we go.
Let's current node equal this dot first node.
Yep, totally agree. Wait, this dot what?
Yeah, while current node is not equal to null.
Wait, while it equals null, right? Or what? Wait,
we want to get to the last node.
True. Yes, we want to get to the last point where there's an empty spot we want to fill in.
Actually, is while current node dot next is not equal to null, I think. Because that if current node dot next is not equal to null,
we can't fill in the first node then, because the first node would be null, and we would null ref on this when we call dot next. So,
these are always hard to think about.
Yeah, I was thinking while current node. Let's try going the other way. Let's try saying while it's null, we want to put in a val. So you're right. If it's not null, we need a step.
Yeah.
So actually, don't just remove the next. If it's not null.
Okay.
So let's change its name. So change current node as node to set, or something like that.
Node to set.
There you go.
And then so that's going to be first node, and
if it's not null, then grab next.
Yeah. Hang on. So that would be so node to set dot next. So if node to set's not null, we grab the next one. Do we do this? And then we say node to set dot next is equal to that, but then that ultimately just makes it become null. Right?
Oh yeah, it is null. So we need
if node to set dot next is equal to null, then we've hit the end. And so we just do we just break out? We've got node to set where we want it?
Yes.
Well, we do this.
Yeah.
We say if node to set dot next is equal to null, then node to set dot next equals this.
Yeah.
Minus the. We'll get this working, and then we'll see if we think it's ugly or not. And I'm just going to inline these. Because JavaScript.
We could also just call that last node. Oh my god, you know what we should have just done? We should have just kept a reference to the last node. We're idiots.
What's that?
Can't we just keep a reference to last node? Pin to me for a second.
Okay.
Can't we just do this and just say last node, and then when we set it, take that object and just track it here too, and then just always put it on the last node. So like when we come in here and we say like.
So the appending isn't a big O of N.
Yeah, exactly. Why don't we just say yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Like, wait a minute, why did we do this? Like, the whole point was we were going to have a last on this. So we're really just going to say this dot last node is going to be so if I should say if it's not null, right?
Yeah.
So if this dot last node does not equal null, then we're gonna do this. Actually, if it, yeah, okay, that's fine. Or is it if it is null, we do a special thing here? Okay, well, either way.
So coming in initially, first node and last node are going to be null.
Yes.
And we'll say the last, if the
next equals our object, right? So this is the standard case. Hey, welcome, Robert Tables and friends. Welcome to the stream, developers. We are doing an interesting thing today. We have Guy Royse here, and we are doing a bit of inefficient data structure building in JavaScript. So, weird stream today.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Santa is here, Surly Dev.
Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, so we assign that to the end, and if it is not this one, and this is the item this is the node, which we could do this. Let node equal.
Yeah.
And
then, because then we also, in that case, we need to say this last node equals node.
Last node equals no. You're right. We need to do that no matter what, whether it was or not.
Yeah. That always needs to happen.
Yeah, so that one always needs to happen. But in this case, where last node was null, we need to set the first node.
Yes, and the last node. But that happens on line 22.
They're the same thing. So why don't I say why don't we do this? If first node equals null, let me do it this way because I think this is going to make more sense in my brain.
Okay.
Which is funny. Don't extract. Pull it down here. Okay. So, all right. So, welcome everyone. Yes, we're doing some inefficient JavaScript stuff. We're just building some basic data structures. So, we're currently doing a linked list in JavaScript. So, we're pulling in so when we're appending an item, we're putting it in this little node object. We're saying if the first item is null, then assign it. Then assign this one to that. And if it wasn't, then we're going to whatever the last node was, saying next and putting that on there. And then no matter what, the last node is always set to the one that we're bringing in now.
Yeah, this is way better than walking the linked list every single time we want to append something.
Yes, it's also better than our initial if-else that we kind of built. So let's try this and see. If
henceforth, being referred to as the abomination of which we shall not speak.
It's kind of like, so if anyone has done a bunch of pair programming like exercises, the like back and forth thing, you're always like sitting there like, here, let me do the simplest thing and then pass it to you. Haha, maybe you'll be the one that has to do the refactor. Who was supposed to be doing this refactoring? Was it? I think I just jumped in on yours and did that because I realized the thing.
Yeah, and I lost count, and it doesn't matter. Actually, so that's good. This is also the other thing that happens when you're pairing is it sort of devolves into, like, initially everyone will be real disappointed. It's like, okay, I'll write a test and you make it pass, and then I'll refactor, and then going back and forth, a nice neat ping pong. But what always ends up happening is when you really start thinking, you just start thinking together and working on it together.
Yeah, and usually, So when you
lose track of the sequence.
Well, and you should at points, because the other trick is Guy was working on stuff. And then while he was doing that, my brain clicked in with like, oh, this is how we want to do it. And then it's like, okay. And so I could either, tell Guy what to do, or I could just start typing and be like, here, let me grab hold. I have a better way. It's like, which happens all the time when you're doing that.
So does this pass?
Yes.
I feel like we should commit.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
I feel like it's high five time, and whenever I feel like I need to do a high five, we should probably commit this stuff to Git.
Can we do this one first?
Oh, hang on.
Because this one I think also passes. The first next. It doesn't. Oh yeah, it wouldn't be null. Yeah. Okay, so let's just get rid of that one, and we'll add a real one later. So let's get rid of that because we're not really going to do that one, and then. the size is still like totally wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, size is totally wrong. So we will not add that test yet. Let's go ahead and commit. I just wanted to make sure, because if we had written size correctly already, then I was going to say, like, yeah, let's uncomment that. All right. We are in there. I'll bring up a git shell, and we'll add these changes and commit them. Do you have a git ignore in there already?
I do, actually, yeah. Git ignore contains DS store because I have a Mac, VS Code because we're using VS Code, and node modules. So.
All right, we're going to commit to master, I think.
I call that minimum viable git ignore.
So we've modified the package.json, and we've modified those folders. That looks right. So those... Yep, I'm not going to dig through the individual changes in those. What are we doing? We are adding initial linked list module.
Yeah, you probably should have been committing all along, but you know.
Probably.
Yeah.
We will commit that.
I'm going to look up here. I'm not cheating. I'm actually looking at the repository at GitHub. So this is out on GitHub. So if anyone wants to go check it out, it's at github.com/GuyRoyse/data-structures. So if you want to, play with that code later or pull it down and play with it while we're playing with it. I will ignore any pull requests.
Yep. We are not going to be watching pull requests while we're on the stream. Guy, there's a failing test for you. You need to fix it.
What's the size is all wrong.
Yes.
You know what? I was just thinking.
We can keep track of it if you like. We don't have slicing yet.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. That would be more efficient too.
Yes.
And so that's probably worth doing. If we need to slice this thing apart, that'll be tougher. But
yes.
Did I say something funny, not realize it?
No. Every afternoon said that in chat. He's like, what if the PR has a more inefficient version of the data structure? Then clearly you'll accept that PR.
Of course, yes.
All right, Guy, give us a size field, and we'll
okay.
And then we can debate whether or not we want to just have a public field or use a public access method.
Yeah. Current size, I guess I'll call it. 0. And then turn this current size. That's pretty straightforward. And then this current size ++.
Sounds good to me.
Does that work?
It should.
Yeah. There we go.
Excellent. All right. You got a failing test for me then?
Yeah. Well, let's see. What do we want to do? I actually kind of want to restructure our tests a little bit.
Okay. We're green. We can refactor those.
Well, so I kind of want to nest them. I want to do
so there's a context in. So when a second item is added.
Yeah. I think that'll make the test read nicer.
Sure. Yeah.
So there we go. When a second item is added, and then we'll do
that, but with only one item added in there.
And we can just add Bard.
Yep. Because then we also get the 2 and the 3.
Yeah. And then I'm just going to copy these tests into here.
And we'll adjust them down to be 2s instead of 3s. Which, why don't you let me do that and you start working on the 3?
Okay. And do we want this test as well? Or do we just want to check the one thing?
Yeah, I guess we can check whatever the... Well, I think it's... Actually, that's a good point. I think it's useful to check this at least once that first did not get changed.
Yeah. I actually feel like first it has the... Well, you should say it has the first value. That's probably better wording for that test.
Yeah. It has the...
And then it has the second value. And then we'll...
yeah.
And then when this is done, then we'll copy this and then just add it has the third value.
Yeah, we probably won't check second. We'll check third on that one.
Yeah. So then this becomes...
Barbarian, Baker, yep. And do we want to check and has last value maybe before we do that?
I don't know. Let me do this for I can't type it. And this was Baker, right? Is that what we settled on?
Yep, that's Baker.
As a size of 3.
Why there's a baker in our adventuring party, I have no idea. Oh, it's because we want delicious bread.
Really likes bread.
Yeah, we want delicious bread while we travel.
Exactly. There we go. Or beard. Bread.
Wait, isn't that Baker?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Words are hard.
Words.
And then we don't need any of this because that's all that.
Correct.
And so then let's clap some of these lines down a little bit.
Jeez, are we writing Lisp here?
Word. Yeah. Okay, that looks good. Well, someone once said that Lisp is JavaScript is Lisp and C's clothing. No, that was Douglas Crockford that said that. But what did it do? My terminal's flaking out.
Expected 3 to equal 2.
That's a rogue tile.
Has third item. Yeah. So that'd be a 3-1. Yep. All right. Now they're all passing. Yeah, I like the way these are structured. When an item is added to the list, it has this. When a second item is added, it has blah, blah, blah. When a third item is added, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's a good structure on this test.
Well, and then there's really no need to go beyond 3 because if you were to write 4 and 5 and more, there's not any. It's not going to create any new code.
Yeah.
But 2 has code that's kind of unique to it, where you can use an if, and like you were saying earlier, and then 3 forces you into while land. Takes you from if to loop.
Yes. I want to do the last value on at least one of those, which I'm going to do there. And I want to do it on the first one as well, because last and first should be the same thing.
Yeah. And the first shall be last, yeah.
Yeah.
Or something. I heard that somewhere once.
I was still pinned to you.
Okay.
I'm going to say has a last value.
Okay.
Which we should adjust this to has a first value also. This one, they're the same value.
Okay, yeah. So I'm actually not pinned to you, so I'm not seeing your follow-up participant. There we go.
Whoop. Probably a copy pasta error, I'm assuming, because I got an error. Last is not a function. Did we not?
We did not create a last function.
We did not create a last function.
You also didn't last. What? What did I just do?
I don't know. What did you just do?
Yeah,
but
on line 47 in the linked list, that's supposed to be last.
Yep. Okay, so in linked list, so we'll just add a last here. That gets you last node.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, strictly speaking, we wouldn't need to have these functions. We could just expose the first node and the last node, but I'm actually kind of reluctant to do that, even though they are actually exposed.
Wait, why don't you want to? Oh, you mean like the fields?
Yeah, you could actually just access the fields because it's JavaScript.
We talked about that, yeah.
But I kind of like to wrap them with properties and functions, so you're kind of saying, don't mess with the fields. If I want something to be accessed in a field-like fashion, I'll explicitly use a get and a set, and then that communicates that that's how that's done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because JavaScript doesn't have any concept of public or private. Another convention is to put underscores in front of these things. I think that's ugly. So I don't do that.
And, for fields. Yeah. The only reason why I don't like that because it makes us do this dot in JavaScript. So
Yeah.
Like, the reason why I do the underscore in C# is because I'm going to do that instead of writing this dot everywhere.
Yeah. Well, I think the underscore for private field is sort of like the last vestige of Hungarian notation.
To be the thing is, I really like it because it's a great cue to me that's not a local value, because the number of bugs that I've run into where it was like, oh, knowing that was a field immediately tells you what was wrong.
Yeah.
So
and I've seen that in C# land more than I've seen that in Java land. In Java land, this dot means it was a member. It's a field.
Yeah.
And then otherwise you just use it without the this, and it will do the locally scoped thing.
Yes, but I don't like having the this dot at the beginning.
That tends to be the convention in Java land.
Yeah. So the other trick is that I've had some people make the case that as long as your syntax notation, which if I could guarantee that every syntax, like that all the syntax highlighting always showed me a distinct color for a field versus a local variable, then I'd be okay with it. If your IDE covers it every single time, then fine. Like that's good. But like some people are like, oh, just mouse over it. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna mouse over to check every single time on something. I just want to see it. All right. So what next?
Well, we've got a basic linked list that we can append to.
Yeah.
What do we want to do next with it? I mean, technically speaking, if we wanted to move to hash table, we have enough of a linked list to do that.
Do we need to be able to remove items?
Yeah, actually, for hash table, you would. Yeah. We have all the linked lists that we need to make a write-only hash table. Because we have a write-only linked list.
Yes, we have. Well, it's read-write, just not edit.
Yeah. Well, it's or as I like to call it, functional.
Yeah, and technically we can change the value of nodes in here too.
Yes, we could. Yeah. I guess we probably need to. Do we want to do like maybe a prepend or other ways to add, or do we want to do? Do we want to just do? You want to call appends push and pop instead of append? I don't like that.
No,
actually.
I don't like it because I don't think it's clear where it's going.
So we need a remove.
Yeah, we should probably have a remove.
And we probably want an update. Although update's not really hard because you just get the node and set the value. We need it. Do we want to create a git that's index based and walks the tree, or walks the list?
An index. We can, yeah. Something I was wondering is, so we did a singly linked list. Do we want to make this a doubly linked list as we talk about this? Because if we're planning on, so are we just removing off the ends, or are we going to allow removing out of the middle?
Well, I think we have to allow removing out of the middle. Otherwise, we've created a stack and not a list.
Yeah. Double pointers in both directions, Surly Dev, is a doubly linked list, as in you have next and previous node tracked. So you could walk either from either the beginning or the end of the linked list.
Yeah, and so if we were to sort of noodle and code here, let's go ahead and commit this before I noodle.
Yeah.
Git status.
Yeah, you can do it from there. Yeah.
Git commit -m pre-noodle commit.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Git
that's
push.
Stuff.
There we go. Pre-noodle commit. That's a very meaningful commit message. I am making words with my hands. Yeah.
Yes.
So it wouldn't be very hard at all to take our node that we create here. This is actually the only place we create a node. And add a previous.
Yep. Yeah, so the trick, Surly Dev, with having a doubly linked list is you can say remove a node, and you actually just go to the previous and next and have them point to each other. And then that makes, like, wherever you sliced from, So if you want to slice out a whole section, again, you just go to the previous and next of that section and point to each other instead of having to step through and track which one it was. Yep. Okay, cool.
I thought about creating a feature branch for Noodle Time, but
we could, yeah.
But then I decided to reevaluate my life choices.
Yeah, no, we can just put it in master. It's fine.
Yeah. So I think we need tests this then that allow us to walk the list backwards.
Sure.
I mean, I think that would drive in the doubly linked behavior.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. So are you thinking like go down here? Are you pinned to me if you're not? Hey, House Basook. Thank you very much for the 9-month resub. Welcome back to the stream. So are you thinking something like this? Has
the penultimate value? I don't know. I guess it would be has the second value, the first value from the end.
Previous to last value. Totally not confusing words at all.
Well, penultimate actually isn't a bad way to say that, but then it doesn't help us when we go get the first value.
We can technically say that for now, and we can come up with a better... Chat, we need your help. We need a way to say this.
Naming things is hard.
Yeah, come on, chat. To your turn.
I should probably turn notifications off on my computer. I'm getting text messages from my son. I mean, my screen's not being shared, but still.
Bard. Okay, so expect subject last previous value to equal bard. Right?
You want to say it has the next to the last value? Or maybe it has the second value from the end and the third value from the end. That's still confusing. Because our next test becomes...
Has the second to last value.
Right, and then the third to last, which is also the first.
Yes, it is. But it's another way of accessing it.
Right.
All right, so NPM tests, what is it?
Yeah.
Cannot read property value of undefined. That's correct.
Because previous is undefined.
Yep, previous is not defined.
Okay, so...
Let's go to our linked list. I'm pinned to you.
Okay, yep. I'm looking at append here, and so this is just going to be how we append, right?
Yep.
So,
So we need a previous value that is definitely null at that point.
Right.
Because if we're just creating it and we don't know the state of the rest of the system, that one's going to be null. Those are references to nodes which are objects, not indexes. Correct. Yeah, we're not doing indexes.
So if first node is null, then first node equals node.
And nothing happens with, and last node equals node. But it's this case at line 21 where we need to handle something, because that means there were other records.
Next equals node. This dot last node dot previous equals
What? No. This it's got to be node dot previous.
Yeah.
Equals last node before.
That was what I was struggling with.
Yeah.
Equals this dot last node.
Yep.
And then for the first node, it's always going to be null.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Next and previous will be null in this case, but if it isn't, then we need to set the.
Do we want to do it like this instead?
I wouldn't go there. Oh, setting it to null there. So we're explicitly setting it in both.
Yeah, so that we have in these two conditions, this is how they get set. So it's I kind of like that because it's a little more explicit.
Yeah, because the new node next is always null, so we can assign it up there.
Right.
But in this case, we can make it clear that in one case there is not a previous, and in this one there is. Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Let's save it and run it. I think this works.
I think so too. Cool.
Yay, that does work. Excellent.
Huzzah.
We have a doubly linked list.
Hooray! Let's write some more tests to really prove that out.
Why don't we commit that one, because it's a doubly, because it is the first thing that we've got of a doubly linked list.
Yeah, early afternoon. That was sort of our debate too. The previous null and the node definition versus not. Yeah, I like it in line because then it's balanced. It's like they're both doing the same thing. It's always setting it. But if you do it on top, then you're overriding it. I don't know. There's merits to both.
All right.
So, are we all committed?
We are committed.
Okay.
Let's make a failing test on our.
Actually, I think we need. I kind of want to do a.
You want
I want to get this. I want to. It has the third to the last value. I just kind of want to have the same tests going backwards as we do going forwards.
Makes sense.
Equal to Bard Barbarian.
Sorry, Guy, you had to listen to me sneeze. No one else did.
Okay. I will forever haunt my nightmares.
Yes.
And so this is when we have three things, and then it has the second value. So up here, let's just create. It has the last value, it has the second to last value. Except this is going to be Bard, and this is going to be Barbarian. And then it has the last value for when we just have one thing in it. So we're testing it at, we have that already. First value, last value. First, second, last, or second to last. Yes. Okay. Those should all still pass. Not that. Everything is not up to date. But Git thinks it is.
Well, we haven't committed.
Yeah. So that's just I'm just being a little more thorough in the testing.
Yep.
I don't know that that's strictly necessary, but it creates a symmetry that pleases me.
Yeah, no, I'm totally cool with walking the list backwards like that.
So now we need to be able to take stuff out of the list. Do we want to take stuff out of the list, or do we want to lock the list to do a get? Like get it.
Get by index, you mean?
Yeah. What are you thinking?
The thing is, because it's a linked list, I think
I know
walking
exactly
it to get an index is not like a normal scenario with these, but it is pretty normal to extract at an index. So
yeah.
Cutting at an index, I think, makes more sense than grabbing a value at an index, or cutting when a condition is met, for example.
Do we want to do like a remove first, remove last, remove at index?
Yeah, I'd be good with that. You're thinking single item, not a start and end range on the removal?
Yeah, I'm thinking single item for now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because with that single item, you could then, although a range removal is, I mean, you could loop over a single item removal, but that would be inefficient.
Because the ways you can do it. Well, because you can do like a removal where you did like, remove at index 4 and take 5 items, for example. Or you could do, you could define the start and end point of the indexes that you're removing. Either way, let's go ahead and we can do the remove first, remove last, and remove at index. I'm good with that.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and I feel like our context has gotten deep.
Yes.
When an item is added list,
do we want to make a new context that just has a bunch of stuff in it and isn't about the adding and removing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, so we've got when created is empty, empty when we add a thing. I'm going to collapse that down there. You probably can't see that, but okay. Context. When we have a nicely populated list.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
I love the names where it's like, yeah, we're just kind of hand wavy. Yeah, it's got the right stuff in it.
And so in here we'll do before each.
Yeah, before each one we're gonna add some items.
And then let's get a new theme. Subject dot append. We should do D&D races instead of classes.
Oh yeah, that'll work. Yeah.
So dwarves, because
yeah.
they have beards, right?
Yep. Sure.
And then elves because they don't.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
don't forget gnomes.
Gnomes because they're short and have pointy hats, and they have profit.
What do you think this is, Ferengi?
Yeah. Well, no, collect underpants, ? Profit.
Yeah.
And halflings, yeah.
Because they're short.
Because they're short. And orcs, because they don't take any crap.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so you got orcs there?
Sure, yeah, orcs.
Orcs is my precious. Okay, it's... do we want to do a context when we remove a thing? No, that's just too much code.
Yeah. Because the problem is then you get... I mean, I guess we could context them and then do the its as like the verifications of it.
Yeah, actually...
Is there a when for that?
No, it's context. When is this thing I used to do in Jasmine, where I'd alias describe as when, so I could say when and then thing. But I haven't done that for Mocha, and I don't know that I haven't tried doing that with Mocha, so I don't know if it would work or not. So context when we remove a race from an item. We'll say an item.
Voit, I agree. It works as expected.
Yeah, from the end.
Yeah, that looks great.
Then, or before each function. We'll say subject dot remove at end. Are we okay with that? Do we want to do that, or we just want to do by an index number?
I'm cool with having maybe remove last.
Remove last, yeah.
Let's remove last. I'm thinking that these are going to be these are just going to be shortcut methods because first and last are common places to remove, and they'll probably just call the index one. So there'll only actually be one method that does it, but this is just like a shorthand for it.
Yeah.
Will be what we eventually create. This we're going to implement probably in this to begin with nasty ifs and horribleness.
Yeah. It has a smaller size. Expect subject dot size to equal 4. Does that sound good?
Every afternoon, it will not iterate through the entire list, I don't think. My guess is that we can avoid that by being smart. But maybe we don't want to do that because we're intentionally writing this inefficiently.
Yeah.
All right. One other thing that I was wondering before we make this one pass, Guy, do we want to verify the size up here in the nicely populated list before we do it down here, or do we care?
I think we've already tested that in the previous code.
Okay.
So I don't think we care in this context.
Okay, that's fine.
And that's part of the reason why we created the new context.
Yep. So I will remove last.
Okay.
Remove last. Yep, like that. This dot size.
Yeah.
What? What? I made the test pass.
Well, hang on. I need to refactor.
Oh, did I not? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, I didn't make it pass anyway. What did we call it? Size?
Current size. Yeah.
Current size. Okay. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
It makes it pass. There you go. All right. Now let me actually require that we do it the right way. Is Resharper worth it? Root Guy, yes. Some kind of plugin like that is worth it. If you're a fan of Resharper, go for it. If you're a fan of CodeRush or some other, then go for it. Whatever style you like, those tools are generally worth it. Okay. I almost want it. No longer has the
It's still not empty.
It is missing the. It's not the last anymore. It has removed. Has removed the last item. Last item.
Yeah.
So when we remove an item from the end,
it removes it.
it no longer has that item.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Last dot value
to not equal orcs.
Oh yeah, can I do that?
Yeah.
To not equal orcs. Yeah. All right, there we go. Yeah, we called it orcs. All right. Oh. We'll see if I wrote that correctly. Expected orcs to not equal orcs. All right, Guy, your turn.
Okay.
I'm pinned to you.
This dot last node equals this dot last node dot
previous. Yeah.
That's a terrible plan.
That works.
Actually, that's does that introduce any kind of memory leakage? I know there are ways you can very carefully get memory leaks in JavaScript. So we say this dot last node equals this dot last node previous. Then
now this dot then we need to say this dot last node dot next equals null.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Yes, because we need to remove that reference now, and I think then JavaScript will clean that up and not memory leak it.
Yeah, I think it will too.
Because the problem is someone walking forward was still going to get to the last item.
Right.
And that's wrong. We would just have that pointer in the wrong spot. We'd eventually fixed it if we appended a new one onto the end, then we would drop it, but someone walking would still see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was actually really easy.
Yeah.
We probably need a...
Yeah, give us a new test. I'd love it.
Well, I want a test that validates that halflings are the last node.
Okay.
It has... I don't know how to word it. As the... If I could type ultimate node as last. And I know this will pass.
How about it
does.
changes the last node or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's simpler.
I really just want to use the word penultimate.
Yeah, I know, but which is a fantastic word for that. But the problem is we end up getting into some really long and convoluted names in order to get it there. Okay.
I wonder if there should be a word for the penultimate of a penultimate. I think that's a word that we need. The next to the last.
Yeah, the penultimate.
Yeah. The meta penultimate. Yeah.
I don't know what that for all we know that word exists, Guy.
It probably does.
And
yeah.
you and I just don't know what it is.
Well, ultimate's just Latin for last, and then pen means almost.
That's one of the things in language that always gets me when people are like, "Oh man, German's so weird because they do the thing where they just shoved two words together and they made it their word." And I'm like, I mean, that's what we have. We just did it with Latin words, and you just don't know the Latin. Like, I mean, like.
Well, actually, we do it with English words all the time too. We just put space and pretend like we're not.
Yeah, that's true. But like, even the ones where we think we aren't, it's like, no, that's actually just too, like, that's what we talk about. Like, what's the root of the word? It's like, yeah, because like we used a chunk of an old, like a. Yeah, it's funny. Saint.
Well, we'll say like status report, right? We got it. Status is a noun. Report is a noun. We'll say them together, and we'll say, well, no, we're using the noun as an adjective. No, you're just pushing them together like German.
Yeah. Okay, so what's our next? So we need to
remove first.
Remove first, yeah.
It has a smaller size. It no longer has that item.
So switch from last to first. And
to not equal what we put dwarves in there first.
Yeah, it should not equal dwarves, and then the second value, which is what this one's going to check, is going to be elves, I believe is what we put in there. So change from halflings to elves.
Yeah, because elves don't have beards.
Because elves don't have beards, yep.
Now, I don't necessarily advocate that we're doing all these tests at once, but...
Oh, well, that... I guess because it doesn't match the name. I was like, oh, well, that ignored. I'm like, oh, yes, of course it was. You could have put anything in there, and then it's no longer it.
Yeah. Well, the exit is specifically will show up as being pended.
Oh, okay, so that is special in that. Okay, yeah. I'll believe you. All right, well, either way, remove first does not exist. So I will go make it exist.
That is easy enough.
Let me unpin from you.
Okay.
So you stop dragging me around. I'm going to put it before that one.
That makes sense. First things first.
Current size minus. First node.
Equals this dot first node dot
should
next.
First node dot next.
Yeah.
And then once we have that one saved, we want to go to first node and previous equals null.
Correct.
And then that should lose it. Right? I think that loses it.
Yeah, this is JavaScript.
Yeah.
Someone is asking in chat.
Oh, yes. This is JavaScript. We usually do C# on our stream, but we also do JavaScript. That's like our main two languages here. Although I admit it has been a while since we JS'd on this stream.
Probably I was there the last time.
You might have been here the last time. I used to do a lot of JavaScript like games and stuff like that. That used to be a thing here. Let's bring these back.
And if you look down there when we run it, it puts it in blue with a dash and saying, it didn't run the test. It's pended. So
I like those. Yeah, I like that those are pending. Ben, welcome. Thanks for that follow. Much appreciated. If anyone else is in chat and enjoying the stream, don't forget to hit follow. Best way to get notified when we go live. Okay. Unity, fun stuff. All right, so that does seem to work. Are there other tests we should add on about removing the first item?
I don't think so.
I kind of wonder if we should check if we should have a thing about the first previous and the last next value being null, or is that too like about the implementation-y?
It does feel like it's a little too much about the. Well, it is a thing we call.
I know we call it publicly. That's the problem. Because we call them publicly, I kind of feel like we should maybe check them.
I think that might be a second expectation in like the test you just highlighted.
Oh,
like
you're talking about
the first node, and so we're validating that the first node is the way it should be.
Yeah, that's valid. I could see that. Actually, let me do this then. Instead of .value, we're going to say previous. We said to be null.
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to get these two at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. Saint Savagus, we're using Mocha to test drive our JavaScript. So.
And I think this passes already.
Should.
Yep. Okay, it does. Good. Let's go ahead and commit this then.
Yeah. Do we want to? Like remove a list to emptiness? I think I'd rather remove something in the middle first.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm going to do basic removals as the name.
We probably do want to have a remove first and remove last, what its behavior is when you do that on an empty list.
Yes.
That's probably a thing we should test at some point. I don't know that I want to do that yet, but that's a thing that we do need to test.
Yes, I agree. We definitely want to do, because there might even be a circumstance for, well, no, because if we handle every removal correctly, then it shouldn't matter whether you're removing, like, you could make a single item list, like do a context where we put in a single item in a list, and then remove that single item.
Yeah.
And that, I think, would be a valid case. I don't think we need to do, like, 3 items, remove all 3 to empty, if that makes sense. Because if we make sure that removal 3 down to 2 is correct, and 2 down to, you don't really need to check that you can remove all 3. Okay.
But removal to empty is a valid test, and removal from something that's already empty, doing something meaningful, I think is probably valid too.
Okay, so do we want to why don't we do removal out of the middle now?
Yeah.
So let's, let me find the end of this context. Curly? Because mine doesn't collapse. Wait. Yeah, there's the context. Context. What are we saying? When when removing item from the middle, function
the IDE is really helping out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it was helpful there.
Yeah.
That is useful for like teaching new programmers stuff, is like, because it's like, no, and here you fill, like, these are the values you need to fill in on a function.
Yeah.
Which I like, because because JavaScript is kind of loose with that stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to do a before each. Is it thising?
No.
I don't think we this it. Yeah.
You don't.
Okay. Dunk.
And then you need a space there. I'll get it.
Thank you. We want to do subject dot remove at.
Yeah, and then let's remove, I guess, 3, because that'd be, or no, 2, because that'd be the thing in the middle. Yeah, because it's we're deciding to be 0 based.
Remove at 2. I don't think we need to do anything else. So then we're gonna say,
it has a smaller size. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It. Yeah.
All of a sudden, I really want to get at.
It has a smaller size, and we're gonna say function and say expects. Yep.
I'm just going in and cleaning up those little things.
Yep, appreciate it. Subject.size. Did we do size as a function? I think
yes, we did.
Expect that to be 4. I think is what we said, right? To be 2 equal 4.
Yeah.
2 equal 4. We'll see what happens. Remove at is not a function. Cool. I know.
Okay, so I think you know what I'm going to do.
Yes. I know what you're going to do. You're going to do what I did and write current size minus minus.
And I'm not even going to give it an argument.
You don't need to. I can pass it. Yeah, because JavaScript. Didn't matter that I gave it an argument. It's like, that stupid caller. I didn't need that argument you gave me. Let me just continue running. that really does get me. How is that not an error? Like, they passed. Clearly, they didn't know what. Clearly, something was wrong.
With JavaScript is you can do, like X, Y, Z, and then if they're not passed in, they're just undefined.
Oh yeah, I know. I mean, we
you can do this.
No. You definitely do not do that.
You can do that. There are many things in life that you can do, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Go make a failing test now.
Okay.
Do you see what I did?
Yeah. It was a great refactor. So this is where I was thinking, gosh, I wished I had a get at.
Oh, yes, because then we could just do a removal at that point. But we don't have to.
So we can do first.next. So first, next. That would be the third item. Mm-hmm. To not equal... What did we... Gnomes. We're getting rid of gnomes.
Oh, that actually makes so much sense. Everyone wants to get rid of gnomes.
Yeah. Except, did it not save it?
It no longer has that item. It's there.
First. Am I actually...
Oh, you didn't value.
Value, yeah. Yep, I just noticed that at the same time.
But that is why. So when people always ask why red-green refactor, that is why.
Mm-hmm.
Because that test was supposed to fail. You need to make sure your test can fail, because that test, as written originally, could not fail, because that object was never gonna be gnomes. It was an object, not a string. Alright, so now the test is actually failing, and Guy has managed to make me have to do the work this time, like he had to do the work last time. Somehow this seems like easier work. I think I got the bad end of this deal. Alright, so, index 0. So, what's an easy way to walk this? I could
you know what we ought to do?
What's
honestly?
That?
We should pend this test, and we should test drive in get at, so you can go straight to the node.
But I can do it this way.
Yeah, but that's the same code that's going to be in a get function.
Well, then we can just yank it into a get function. We write the get function too.
Yeah,
we've got the test for this, and this works.
Yeah, I was just thinking because this means we're going to be we're really kind of driving in two behaviors. By doing it this way.
Sure. All right. We'll comment this out for now. Then let's go do the.
Yeah. So let me write a different test.
Yeah. Exactly. So just exit that one.
There we go. And then say when we have a nicely populated list.
Yeah. Which means you need to get out of the removal context.
Where yeah, and that's what I'm out. I'm up here.
Yep.
And we say it. I'm following you. That's my problem.
Mm-hmm. I'm following you now.
Okay. It's. Let's see. Do we have a context? I don't think we got a context here. It.
Yeah,
well,
we can just do.
What do you think about that?
I don't know what that's gonna do, but sure.
But it's going to be describing the get at function.
Oh, okay, sure, that's fine. Yeah,
we haven't really used that sort of structure before.
That's fine.
We could also do context when getting.
Sure, that.
When getting stuff. I don't know. I don't like that either.
I think the describe's fine on that. We can do that, and then I'm assuming you just do that, and then instead of doing a for each, we just do its.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's a way of grouping your its.
It gets an item. Well, it describes the thing under test, and the thing under test is the get function.
Yep.
The get function.
Yep. Totally makes sense.
So say subject dot get at.
Get matched CSS rule. Yeah, that's what we wanted. Thanks.
That's totally what I want. Get at 3. So let node equal get at 3.
And then we want to expect something about node 3.
Node value.
It's halflings. I don't know what's going on there.
Whatever. To equal
halflings.
Yeah.
Yep. 3 is halflings.
Find the halflings. It finds the halflings.
Find the halflings.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. That was. Wait, you didn't rename it to that? What we...
It actually is a lot of fun, but.
All right. So test is failing because we don't have a get at. Wait, what? Remove at is not a function. I thought we exited that. Oh, it's in the context, so we can't. So I'll put it back and just have it not doing the right thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, where are you at there?
Let me just do this. So it'll be incomplete, and when we bring the other test back in, then that test will be failing again. So I'm going to run your test down here again. Get at is not a function. There we go. That's the one we wanted.
Okay.
Okay, so my turn to make this work. Get at index. Return.
Because this will make remove at a lot easier, because then once we can get the node, then we can say, okay, go to the previous node, point it to the next node.
All right, there we go. Wow, it passes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Am
I allowed to use 4-letter words on stream?
Let's try to avoid them, but yeah.
I think my 4-letter word is next.
Yeah. Yeah. What, you didn't like that?
No, sir. I don't like it. Yeah.
Oh, you're a horse now, huh?
Yeah. A little Ren and Stimpy reference there.
Yeah, and it worked.
Yeah.
Like, that's the how many people can you actually be in a conversation with, drop a Ren and Stimpy reference, and the person like just immediately knows exactly what you were saying? No, sir, I don't like it.
It's a slightly obscure one too.
It is super obscure. Yes, you need the right person to drop one of those. All right.
And the chat's like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, do you guys know Ren and Stimpy, or are we totally crazy? We're the only ones that know this?
Well, a Digital Drummer Jay, yeah, of course you would know that.
Oh yeah. There. I was gonna say there are some people that are gonna know it, but
yeah,
it's just how many. What is this? Why don't I index to remove this? Or no, I guess it's index. This is how many times I want to.
Yeah, not to the extreme intensity of us two nerds. That's right, Surly Dev.
Yeah, exactly. Where can you? There's got to be a place to stream that these days. I don't actually know where. There's got to be a place, yeah. Okay, so
while you're coding, I'm gonna Facebook pair. Can I stream it? Well, come on, that's a website. Ren and Stimpy. It looks like it might be on Amazon. It's on Prime Video.
Wow, really? Okay, well, cool. I guess I know what I'm watching now.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like buy it kind of thing or.
Oh yeah, I hope it's not. Wait, what? Oh, did that work? I think that might have just worked. I think my code just worked.
Sorry, I'm still looking up the Ren and Stimpy thing.
Let me just make sure that this can definitely fail. I'm gonna comment out this code. We're gonna make sure that this fails, right? Because I made it fail once in a cheating way, and I just want to make... Okay, so it is really failing. So that returned dwarves, we were expecting halflings. So this test really does pass. So that code works for get at, and that really is just gonna walk the tree. Now, hopefully someone noticed what is wrong with the way that I wrote it, but it's wrong in a way that really just asks for a test. Because some people will be like, oh, but you didn't check the edge case, you didn't make sure. It's like, yeah, we're going to write a test that makes sure that you don't index out of range this thing. Like this. What do you think? What do we do if we go out of range? Do you want an error or null?
I think null is fine.
Okay. Gets...
Because that's how you're going to know you're at the end of the list if you were walking it as well.
Outside of range, maybe?
Yeah.
It's null outside of range. We can play with that name if you like. We do not have... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go to exactly the one that we don't have. 5's outside of range, right?
Yeah, just.
So, yeah, it's just outside of range. So we'll just test at the edge. And actually, should I do both in here? The negative and the positive in here? Or do you want to do it as two separate ones?
The negative and positive meaning...
Like, if I did this, do we accept negative indices?
I don't think we would want to.
Okay, we will not then.
I think that's more of a... There's a whole slew of... If you put in garbage input into this test that we could write, but I think things like negative numbers are just going to be...
Okay, Guy,
That's
I'm going to pin to you. Your turn.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy.
Okay.
All right, I'm now looking. You got me curious.
Yeah, well, one website said Ren and Stimpy, but I couldn't find it on my Prime, so
it's unavailable.
Yeah.
They have it, but it's in their catalog, but they say unavailable.
Yeah, you could probably just buy it on DVD. That's how I had to buy all the old Tick episodes.
Oh yeah.
You can't, and actually there's a couple episodes that aren't available because when it came out on DVD, it was close to when the X-Men movie was coming out.
Oh wait, hang on. I think I wrote the test wrong.
Okay.
Because I was just reading the error.
It's a good thing I was sandbagging then.
Yeah. It's just the node should be null, not its value.
Yeah.
It just worked. Oh, crap. Yeah, 5 does. 6 is the one that's going to give an error. There. Now I should be yes.
We actually want both of those tests. Honestly. Right?
Well, if they're both returning null, like, we know that the 5 is going to return null. So if we're saying that 6 returns null, I don't think we need 5.
Yeah, okay.
It's returning null for the wrong reason, but it is still null, so maybe you're right about that. But it just happens that we chose the same condition. If we'd chosen throw an exception, then we would need 5. But I guess either way, you should only need one of these. I need to pin to you again so we can all see. Yeah, actually, I was going to say, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to suggest, is if we just say we're greater than or equal to the current size and return null. No semicolon, yep. It's a great safety for that. And the reason I was asking about negatives is really easy to... Because we maybe want to do this.
You could say if node equals null, return node here.
Yeah, no, not node. Oh, yeah, you could just do that, yeah. Yeah.
I actually think that's a little cleaner. It's less efficient, though.
Yeah, because you had to walk it.
Yeah.
I like this. I like the if check at the top. Just say, hey, I was greater than the size. And looking at this, if it's a negative, then first, because if they give us a negative index, we should do that. So I'm just gonna safety it.
It's less than 0.
Or it's less than 0, we'll do it too.
Yeah.
I know we don't have a test for it, but...
And it's greater than or equal to current size because we're at
5.
We're 0 based. Yeah.
Yep, we're 0 based. So yeah, that is correct edge case there.
That does make me want to write a test for the edge case though.
The problem is we can't do it because it's gonna return it can't fail because it returns null. It returns null regardless. Remember? It returns null even when we didn't have this.
I think there's a bug in here. Current size is 5. Yeah, that's...
We grabbed the last one, and because the last node is not an empty node, it is null, we returned the null that was on the next. Right? Because the next value of the last item is null, which we returned.
Yeah, well, this will catch it. This line right there, though, on line 50, catches the thing that was being... We're catching it up here, top, instead of down here.
Yes, we are returning this one. If we returned something that...
We could actually do that now.
No.
No, we couldn't. You're right.
Yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, we still have to do this. But it's fine. I don't think we need to test that edge case because I mean you can write it if you want, but it's gonna jump out here. But even if it didn't, even with this, the result's still the same. It's just we walked it to find out. Like it happens to return the same result, which is silly. Yeah.
I still feel like having a case on the edge, a test
That's
case
fine.
on the edge case.
Just to verify that it is that. Yeah, no, I agree.
That's a good safety net.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright, so let's go to our exit.
Yeah.
Where's our exit? There it is.
What's that?
Alright, so we need to make this fail again. There it is. Alright, so, who made that last one pass? Was that me or you? You wrote that code for this.
Yeah.
So
because only I would do a one-line if.
No, I actually was going to do that same thing. Even when writing it, even when writing this, I was like, oh yeah, that's the check I would put. Like in my mind, I was like, yeah, that's the check I would put in there. I'm like, but I won't write it now because we'll make a test that forces you to do it. So, all right, so remove at is going to call get at.
Yes.
Let node to remove equal get at. Why do you want to?
You do need this actually.
Do I? Okay.
Yes. But we're not going to get AT&T. So.
Maybe get ATT. That's their website, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nope, no semicolon. So node to remove. If node to remove does not equal null, then we can do this. And before we do that, whoops, stop it. I'm just trying to fix the 2-space thing. All right, I'm gonna let you fix the 2-space thing while I continue on.
Hang on a second. I'm looking at my message queue for my wife. There's like 40 messages stacked up from my family.
You did tell them you were going to be on a stream, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
But at 4 o'clock, I have a bunch of teenage boys coming over to play Dungeons and Dragons, and my birthday is Monday, and I think my wife's planning on buying pizza because it's my birthday soon, and so they're discussing how much pizza to buy because we're about to get invaded by teenagers.
Too much. You buy too much. That's easy.
And I'm like, it's like, well, we could always just get pizza tomorrow.
Okay, so previous dot next equals next, and next dot previous equals previous. Is that right? Did I do that correctly?
Yeah, let's call that previous node and next node. Maybe that might make us easier to think about.
Sure. You previous node and next node on here?
Yeah. I don't know why I feel like that needs to be there, but...
Sure.
And then we got to do it here as well.
Oh, yeah. No. Thank you.
Previous node, next node. So, okay, so previous node is going to be node to remove previous. Next node is node to remove next.
I think. Well, let's run the test. Let's see what happens.
I think it'll pass, but I think it'll break when we run something at the end.
No, because it should assign. You're right. This will.
We'll get whatever Java calls a null pointer exception.
Yeah, this one. No, on the next dot previous, this one will fail.
Well, and if we remove the first, we'll have the same problem.
Yes.
But I think we should write tests for those scenarios.
Yes, I agree. Especially since we're gonna change. We could change the first to just call this, and the last we could maybe call it too. Which is a good way of verifying that they work correctly. But
yeah,
let's
but that will make those less efficient.
Yeah. So I need to give you a failing test.
But that's okay because we're building an inefficient data structure.
That's true. Inefficient. We said inefficient data structures. I hope everyone was listening when we wrote that in the description. Yeah. When removing an item from the beginning, remove at 0.
Yep.
I'm fine with it has a smaller size remaining there.
Hey, Surly Dev, I'm glad you like the energy. I think what you're sensing is that we're just having fun.
Yeah, so the funny thing is, Surly Dev, I used to have like guests about half I probably had like 3 or 4 guests a month back in the early days of the stream. I used to try to line up guests frequently, but it's such a hassle. Like the amount, like you would not believe how much work it takes to line up guests. Like it's as much work, it's as much time as the stream, just to line up guests. Yeah, exactly. Except it's a meetup that meets, like it was like 4 times a week. So when you explain to someone, it's like, yeah, no, it was like 10 hours a week of like planning streams. You're like, wait, what? Yeah. No longer has that at a first. Wait. Remove at 0. Okay, so what do we do? So we're going to say first dot value does not equal dwarves.
Right.
Yeah, that seems right. So when I run this, cannot set yep, there we go. So failed exactly as we expected. Yeah.
Yeah, it's is the error we were worried about.
Oh yeah. Silly Dev, that's totally true. I will tell you that
he called our Dallas famous. Sorry, I'm picking on you.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. What are you talking about? Oh, it is. Yeah. Well, some people can. Steve is relatively.
I guess he is.
He's much better known than either of us.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, he gets like speaking slots at conferences that are actually hard to get into without really even trying.
Yeah.
Just one of those like, yeah, he's got some connections. Yeah, Steve, so well, Steve's been well known at various points. He's very well known considering his name. He has a ridiculously common name. The fact that anyone knows who he is remarkable. Yeah. All right, Guy, it's your turn. Make this pass.
Okay, so we're doing remove at.
Pin to you.
Okay.
Fix my issue.
Previous node is node remove. Next node is node remove. Cannot set property next of null. That would mean previous node here.
Yep, that's the one messing us up.
Prev node not equal to null.
And I'm fine with one-lining that if you want like that.
Yeah. And then there we go. Did it not save? Okay.
It's like it didn't actually get rid of it. Oh, you know what? We didn't alter the first.
Yeah.
The special link to first didn't get altered.
Equals next node.
Next node, yeah.
There we go.
Wait, or does that go in the else? That goes in the else. Because we don't. Yeah, it's in an else.
This is getting ugly. This is getting muy feo.
We might need to refactor at some point.
Yeah. But it passes, so that's your job.
Yes. Is it? I guess it could be.
Yeah.
You haven't even given me a failing test yet.
Well, that's because we're at the refactor stage. Do we need to refactor yet, or do we want to do the... let's do the opposite. Let's do the... when removing an item from the end.
Yeah.
And then we'll have the, the nice little... the symmetrical code.
Yeah. Last one is orcs.
Item from the end. Remove at 4. That's the last one.
That is correct. Size will reduce
to 4.
Yeah.
Blast.value to not equal orcs.
That looks right.
There we go. And then in here...
That didn't save. That's why you didn't get the failing test. Because that was supposed to give me a failing test. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So if next node does not equal null, then we're going to say next node dot previous equals previous prev node.
Yeah.
And then else we're going to say this dot previous prev node, last node equals prev node?
Yeah.
That seems right. Let me just think about this again. Next node, if next node is not null, then that means that we can assign next node's previous value.
Well, it's just the opposite of the previous block of code.
Yeah. Okay.
Like if we break this up into blocks like this to see it a little bit. Incidentally, when you find yourself wanting to break your code up into blocks like this, it definitely is a sign that you need to refactor.
What? What? Oh, that's crazy talk. Crazy talk. Oh, dang it. All right, so I apparently didn't get one of those.
Oh.
You see it?
We didn't get rid of the code that logic was replacing.
Oh, yeah.
So we were doing it twice, and one time it was bad.
Derp. Yes. Good catch. There we go.
Okay.
When removing an item from the end, has a smaller size, no longer has that item. When removing an item from the beginning, has a smaller size, no longer has that item. Okay, so...
Well, so we were really ambitious with this stream, weren't we? We're going to like, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to do an X table, and then we're going to do a bloom filter, and we're just barely through a linked list. I think we have a minimum viable doubly linked list now.
Yeah.
But it's not very fault tolerant.
No. Not yet. There's a lot more testing. Well, I think a lot of people don't realize, like, this is the reason why we always tell them, don't write your own, whatever data structure. Like, just use the one that's in the library. It doesn't have to be the standard library. Go find another library then, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, going and trying to do, like... If we tried to recreate what's already in every standard library of data structures, we would be here for literal weeks working, and even then, it would probably only be better for specific circumstances. So, like, if you have a really specific edge case where you need something either, like, the performance of this exact operation really matters. Like maybe your standard library doesn't keep track of size, and you really, for your scenario, need to do that without it having it be O of n, then okay, sure. But again, I would still say there's probably a library because someone else needed that same requirement somewhere, and that already exists. And if it's open source, you could go, fork it and tweak it or something like that if you really needed a specific thing about it. So
I remember early in my career, this is back in like 95-ish, I was doing some work in C++, and this was before the internet was really huge. And this is also before like a lot of open source software was really out there. It's back when people were still talking about shareware. Mm-hmm. And there weren't libraries. And so the first thing I ended up doing anytime I went to a client is I had to build libraries for linked lists and all those sorts of things. And so I've actually written these several times. It's just been 25 years.
Yeah.
And it was in C and C++ back in the day.
Yes.
We'd always end up building linked lists. I mean, this is before standard template libraries were available in C++. And so...
Yeah, you were like punching out cards or like chiseling tablets or something?
Yeah. Well, I actually edited all the inodes by hand with a magnet.
I mean, you can't... I remember seeing that picture of you coming down from the mountain with the 2 tablets.
Well, there were 3, right? And I dropped one.
Yeah, exactly. You had a tablet in one hand and a staff in the other, as I recall.
I had a tablet in one hand and a smartphone in the other, yeah.
Yeah. I have that somewhere, right?
Yeah. I think someone actually did. There's a picture of me speaking in at DevOps Belgium, and I think I'm wearing the shirt I'm wearing today, and I'm doing like this with my hands, and I have a really WTF look on my face.
Oh, yeah, here you go.
And people photoshopped it up so that I looked like...
Yeah, like I was one of them. See?
I can't see it, but yeah.
I mean, you're not looking at the stream at all, huh?
No, I just have the chat on. I don't have the stream.
Well, everybody else gets to look.
Yeah, I'm sure it's glorious or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Right there. See, that's Guy. That's our guest today.
And I am wearing the same shirt, ain't I?
Oh my God, you are. That is that same shirt. Do you own any other shirts?
Yeah, I own about 4 or 5 or 6. I don't know, about half a dozen monochromatic polos.
Oh yeah. So the funny thing is, I have a whole bunch of like these types of shirts, and so like I have this same shirt in like 6 colors. And then I've also got some other shirts, and I have the same thing. It's like, oh yeah, and sometimes they're very similar. Like, I actually have another one that's like blue, like, it's a slightly different design. So
I've got these polos, and then I have I've got Redis t-shirts that I wear when I'm speaking for Redis.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do that sometimes too.
Yeah, I actually prefer
Redis
polos. They fit better, and I think they look a little nicer on stage. But But anyhow, so we were originally scheduled to go to 3, right?
It's 3 or 4, but I was figuring we were going to wrap up here.
Yeah, because we're hitting the end, and I've got people coming over at 4, so
you have stuff to do.
Yeah, I've got D&D stuff to do, like this, right?
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I can't even see.
It's a
that's your gold pile. Yeah. I remember seeing that
treasure pile on.
Yeah.
It's my hobby. I'm making like little fences and stuff, and they're half made, but
yeah,
makes the game more interesting. So.
Yep. Oh, I agree. I do love my D&D. I can't get to my D&D supplies. They're on the other side of the green screen right now. I've got a collapsible dice tower, bags of dice, and other stuff. They're all behind me.
I mean, I still would like. I got too many ideas and not enough time. I'd really like to get a online D&D game going with you and folks, and I haven't had time to make it happen.
Yeah, I know. We do need to make that happen at some point.
But it's a thing I want to do. But I actually prefer to play in person.
I mean, so do all of us. But I haven't convinced you to move up here yet.
Yeah, well, you could drive to Columbus. It's only a couple hours.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
No. I have this thing called self-respect.
Okay.
I don't actually know what that meant. I actually like Columbus. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
Yeah, it sounded like I was like, there's some reason why Columbus is a terrible place and no one would want to go there, but I don't actually know what it is.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty great place.
Yeah, I like it. Except I didn't get accepted to speak at the conference there.
I didn't either, and I was on the selection committee.
What? Oh yeah, well, I think if you're on the selection committee, they invite you to go anyway.
Well, I have a ticket, but
yeah.
I was selected last year to speak, and I was on the selection committee last year as well.
They didn't select me last year, but I spoke anyway.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop me.
Yeah, I can speak anywhere. Just put me in a place, and I can use my words.
No, they did actually So I did not get accepted, but they invited me to speak anyway. Because I was one of those subs. They called me like 3 days beforehand, and they were like, "You probably have talks that you can just give, right?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, I have stuff that I can tweak and give in like 3 days. And it's like, "Do you want to?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can go." Okay.
I actually probably won't be going to Star Trek because I'm speaking in Indie code, which overlaps.
Yep.
And so I could get up at early in the morning in Indianapolis and on Friday morning and drive to Star Trek and get there about noon and then cram a couple talks in. And that just doesn't seem worth the hassle.
Often not.
I did that last year because I was speaking at both events, but this year I'm just speaking at one. So
I think I talked to you when you showed up at that one.
Yeah, I was pretty knackered.
All right. Well, hopefully everybody liked the stream today. I'd love to know the feedback on that. And people are right. I do want to get more guests on stream. Because I used to do that all the time. Like, as you know, I used to have guests frequently. Like, that would be like, there was not a week that I didn't have a guest. So it's like, yeah, most streams. But I will try to do this more often. I don't know how Guy's schedule is, but I might tap you for some because they're always fun.
Well, I was actually thinking it might be worthwhile to try and follow this up and just keep down this path of data structures.
We can if you like.
And
we
maybe
can make a series out of it.
I can drop in like maybe every other week and work on it or something like that with you.
Yeah.
But why don't we figure out those details off stream? And
sounds
good. Because some of those might happen while I'm on the road. But right now, with the coronavirus, everyone's conferences are dropping like crazy.
Yeah,
so
that's got to be crazy for all the people in any kind of developer relations roles. But
I've had a couple events be canceled, and then we've had policies from work where it's like, okay, around what travel is appropriate, not in light of that situation. So it's kind of chaotic and in flux right now, and so I anticipate being home a lot. So streaming may not be that hard to do.
Oh yeah. In fact, it's a great answer to that kind of thing of like, oh, the conference was canceled. Cool. I'm going to, do something related to that on a stream.
Yeah.
Well,
I think for what we have here, we have one refactor we should probably do.
You want to do it now? Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. I was going to say I thought we were.
But once we're there, we pretty much got all the functionality I think we really need.
Oh yeah.
We could write a slice, but slice is just going to be an iterative remove at possibly. Or something like that.
And there's intricacies that we can talk about with that too, like how you keep track of the size.
Yeah, but I think we have enough that we could build a hash table, and I think that would be fun to do in the next stream.
Oh yeah, totally could.
And then once we have a hash table, then we can start looking at some of the probabilistic data structures. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Inefficient JavaScript.
That's right. I think that's a series.
All right.
Life is hard and inefficient. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. But the funny thing about that though is that I really do like going through old data structures. I think I told you I did a whole series of blog posts and everything, and I've done that kind of stuff in the past. And I teach people programming concepts by showing them how to build data structures, and I tell them never do this. This is so you understand what it was doing. So
yeah. But this is all stuff that many of us have learned. Actually, I didn't learn this stuff in college because where I went to school, they didn't teach this kind of stuff. But this is, fundamentals of computer science. But I know, we've got a lot of people that have been going to code schools and stuff like that. And I'm sure there are plenty of those people that are watching, and or will watch.
And those don't focus on the data structures quite as much all the time, or the implementations of them, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah. They're just using them. A list is just a thing that you use, and it grows because they do. And being able to provide that kind of stuff so they can get underneath it, I think is real valuable.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of value in doing this kind of stuff, and it's fun. And JavaScript's good because it's loose and it makes it easy to do this kind of stuff. If we were doing this in Java, for example, all of a sudden typing would matter immensely.
The funny thing is, you could do this pretty easily in C# too, because we would be tracking it with, it would just be, our node just would have been a generic object or an anonymous type.
Well, we would use templates probably.
Yeah, generics.
Yeah, generics. Yeah, I guess they're generics in C#.
They're called that. It is a template.
Yeah. Was that what they're called in Java or not? I can't remember. Maybe they are called generics in Java.
I think you're thinking of C++. In Java, I think they might also be called. Yeah, you're thinking of C++. So templates in C++ and generics in C# are not implemented the exact same way.
Yeah,
but they're the two that I think are the good implementations of how to do that, and Java's isn't. Like, I like Java. It's a perfectly fine language. You can do great stuff with it. Its generics are not. Like,
yeah.
I don't.
I was messing around with Java using promises and futures, their futures and stuff the other day, because I hadn't really gotten too deep into those, and it can be a little gnarly because of the type systems in there as well. And I'm so used to doing promises in JavaScript where it's just very loose and the syntax is really light, and so yeah, the generics kind of got in the way of it.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, well, let's wrap up the stream. So I want to make sure that I thank everybody for coming in and hanging out. Green Passion, I saw your question there. Hop into the Discord and ask that question, because I'm going to wrap up the stream here and don't have really the time to answer at the moment. But we actually have an awesome Discord community that is, full of people that are very smart developers of all skill levels and different, I should say skill levels and experience levels, because we do have plenty of students in there, as well as developers that have been working for decades in the industry and have, a breadth of knowledge about all kinds of things. And pretty much everybody in the DevChatter community is welcoming and going to give you great answers to stuff, except for maybe Fuel Snable. But aside from... No, I'm just kidding. Love you, Fuel Snable. No, Fuel Snable's great too. But all the others
Guy
are.
Royse person that
that Guy Royse guy. Yeah, don't mess with him. But then I'm going to roll our credits, and then we will go ahead and wrap up the stream. So thanks to everybody for hanging out today. It was a lot of fun. I want to thank S&B for helping to moderate the stream. These lovely people who followed us today, thank you very much for clicking that follow button. If you didn't click it yet, now is the time, as you'll get notified when we go live. And I want to thank S&B Digital Drummer Nate and House Bazook, all for subscribing to the stream. They all get awesome emotes, and anyone else who's a subscriber, thank you as well, and for hanging out, chatting, anything like that. I thought this was a fun stream, and we're going to make sure this happens again soon. Until next time, we will be live in... next stream will probably be next Saturday, though I keep talking about wanting to do a stream during the week. It usually doesn't happen because my schedule currently has me working way too many hours, and so it's tough to fit that in during the regular week. Either way, welcome. Thank you for following, everyone. Guy, do you want to say anything to everyone?
Just thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. This was a ton of fun. I actually enjoy JavaScript unironically, so doing this in JavaScript was actually enjoyable. And so thanks. Give me a follow on Twitter. I'm at Guy Royse. I'm not hard to find on social media, so I value my personal worth based on the number of Twitter followers I have, so please follow me.
That's a really bad way to do things.
Yeah, I my priorities are seriously screwed up, so. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody.
Yep. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.